Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Art of America podcast. Today, I have a wonderful uh, meeting with an award winner from Fine Art America. His name is Gary Richards. Let's welcome him. Hello,
Hello,
Gary. Nice to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Taking a moment to have this wonderful meeting with you and to congratulate you on your winning of the contest Best Art to Talk About. I
Okay.
I really enjoyed your picture that you drew, and I want to talk a bit more about it. I know that it is made with watercolor and acrylics. Is that true?
Yes.
Wonderful. Do you do you also paint with other mediums like digital or just
Yes,
watercolor?
I primarily use digital because I I get a lot of flexibility with that, and it's easy for me to do because I have a lot of computer background, and I really appreciate the new technologies to be able to use brushes, all kinds of different brushes. So I use a use digital a lot, but lots of times when I am using digital, I will focus on a type of medium with that digital, like a watercolor or like an oil or like and then sometimes I just use other brushes that are um, available to me.
Do you paint in what program do you use?
I use a number of programs. Procreate on my iPad is a big one. Also, Sketchbook and Art Set are a couple of others. Um, I've used four or five other different ones, but the other mediums I like are I use acrylics quite a bit. Um, I have a problem with my breathing, so oils tend to bother
Oh, I
my
can see that.
asthma, so I don't use that anymore. I used to use it years ago, but anyway.
And do you also tried, for example, Krita or Ibis Paint X or Medibank? Do you know that? They are free softwares, but they have a lot of options that you can use.
What say the names again?
Krita
No, I haven't tried that one.
or Medibank,
No.
there are some free softwares that you can use, and they are really wonderful. They do almost the same thing as Procreate, but Procreate so that it has a better software.
Oh, okay.
The design is a lot
I'll
better.
I'll have to look into those.
Do you also use because nowadays AI is it's really growing. Do you also use AI with your
I've
painting?
experimented with AI on a number of. In fact, I have in my not on Fine Art America, but in my own personal portfolio, I have a number of pieces that I have done with AI. I am currently working on a piece that started out with AI, and I am painting over it, you know, adding certain images to it. Uh, for instance, this particular one is of an Alaska scene, and I'm adding animals and birds and enhancing the existing AI image uh, so that it's more aesthetically what I'm looking for. So I'm kind of experimenting with AI, but I've never really posted anything directly with AI.
Do you use also Blender, for example, for 3D modeling?
I have tried some of that. I'm just not very well versed in how to use that kind of thing. So It's just one of those things that maybe down the road I'll try some more.
Yeah, it takes a while to
I
get.
have also done a number of photographs.
It's true. Lately, I saw that you started getting really focused with photography.
I guess we're having a little trouble with the connection.
I also saw that you started getting really busy with photography lately.
Yes, I have quite a few photos that I have done. I've taken a lot of my older photos from many years ago and digitized them. I've also um, done some more recent photos, and I use a number of different um, software applications for enhancing those photos. Lightroom works really good. The Adobe, I actually use the whole Adobe suite. Lightroom and Photoshop are primarily what I use there. Um, Sometimes what I'll do is I'll use those programs, and then I may go into um, one of the paint programs to use to enhance it even more or personalize it, I should say, even more. So I've had a lot of fun with that too. It's really
Yes,
very enjoyable to me. I prefer, though, actually hand painting.
painting with acrylics, right?
No, hand painting with the digital works. What I'm
Oh,
trying to say is, okay, I don't have as much fun if I just take a picture and then I click a few boxes and enhance the photo. It's
yeah,
just I enjoy it, but it's not near as fun to me as creating something from scratch using Procreate or one of these others.
true. That's true. Do you also use your photography as reference for the digital art that you are doing?
Oh yes, I often use photographs within my portfolio, um, in my as reference material for my art. For instance, in fact, case
The internet again? Gary, I believe that your internet went out. Can you hear me? Yes, I believe that Gary's internet went out. I hope he'll join again. I just want to show you until he joins again the beautiful artwork that he made. It's called Hibiscus. It's made in watercolor, and I must say the colors on this painting are really wonderful. They seem to amaze and to please the eyes at the same time. Anyway, you can find Gary on Twitter. Hi again.
hi again. I lost my connection. I've moved to a different room closer to the router. Maybe that'll
Oh,
help.
yeah, I hope that's better this way. I just showed the picture, your painting one more time because I wanted to express how beautiful the colors are and the design that you created.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about using references, my own photographs for references. And yes, that particular painting was done from a reference of a photograph I took at a previous home that we lived at. And that was a hibiscus in our yard. and I used that as a reference. I obviously painted it quite a bit differently than what was there, but as a reference point.
Are you currently in New Hampshire, right?
No, actually, we're in Florida. I originally came from New Hampshire, but we live in Florida. Actually, I've lived in Florida probably more years than I have anywhere else.
Oh, nice weather down there, right?
Oh, yes, it's very, very beautiful down here. Lots of sunshine. We do get afternoon storms in the summertime, but it's beautiful weather and we can go to the beach or whatever.
I noticed on your Fine Art America page that you won almost 100 awards on Fine Art America. How did you seem to do that?
Well, I don't know. I just entered a lot of contests, and so I've won a number of contests through the wonderful people at Fine Art America and the other artists there have supported me tremendously, and I really appreciate the people who run the different groups and who run the contests and so on, because I am deeply indebted to them. And I did.
I guess the internet is down again. Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, I'm deeply indebted to everyone, including yourself, for running those contests. My days of administration are long past.
you also had a group or two that
No,
you're.
I don't really I don't administer any groups at all. I'm just a participant, if you will.
I saw that you have almost 2,000 features on Fine Art America. That's quite impressive.
Yes, I like to put a lot of things out there. I'm trying to expand my portfolio as best I can. It's I try to balance how much time I spend actually doing my art versus promotion and so on.
Yeah,
Some
market.
sometimes you get buried in promotion and you got to put it aside and try to do art.
That's true. That's true. I almost have no time for marketing nowadays. I just share the pictures that I found really, really beautiful and impressive, and most of it are with Twitter or doing this short video presentations on YouTube. But I really enjoy the community on Fine Art America, and everybody's so friendly and so supportive that I had to make a group for it, you know.
Oh yes, you've done a good job with that. I like your gallery as well. I've enjoyed looking at your pictures and so on. But I
Thank you.
don't. Sometimes I don't have time or don't know how to balance properly. So I get buried. I love to look at other people's art, and I get buried sometimes with it. But I enjoy it very much. So my process usually involves getting some sort of an inspiration, and sometimes I get the inspiration from seeing other people's art on Fine Art America or elsewhere, and sometimes I just get the inspiration. I don't know where it comes from, but anyway,
Creative.
and I try to create what I visualize in my mind ahead of time. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not.
But your artwork is quite amazing, I must say. I saw that not only so the acrylics or the photography, but all around you have a beautiful eye for details. And for example, I saw that the Mount Fujiyama,
Yes.
it was made with acrylics. I'm gonna share it right. Yeah, this one. It's so the
Yeah.
details on it. It's beautiful.
That's a more recent piece that I did. I got inspired by a number of things that I saw, and I just had to do it. So I I tried to put my own stamp on it. I won't take all the credit because there's a number of resources that I used to make it the way it is. But anyways,
Anyways, so the creation is still yours.
yes,
The reference is just a helpful matter, so to say.
yes.
And do you also use, so you studied programming and computer science. Did you find a way to put that in, for example, with the digital art?
Yes, I years ago, when I was working in the field of computer science and programming, I started to look at ways of actually drawing with the computer. In
Mhm.
fact, my early days, my initial work was actually drawing printed circuit boards. I worked for Bell Telephone Laboratories in New Jersey,
Okay.
and we had these big mainframe computers,
Mhm.
and I programmed in Fortran and COBOL and a new language at that time called PL1 from IBM, and we were trying to automate the process of creating circuit boards
Okay.
so that engineers could sketch out what they wanted, and then we would actually draw it in such a way that it could be produced.
Okay.
And so that was my original foray into trying to use, because a circuit board, when you look at all the details, is very artistic,
Mhm.
and it's complicated, and the engineering of it is very complicated, and so the computer helped in a way. The only problem was the turnaround. In order to draw anything, you had to submit things in punch cards,
Okay.
and it may take hours for it to come back because everybody else is submitting their programs in punch cards. So you don't get any kind of immediate feedback.
In less words, you are the you somehow helped the new AI for today.
Yes, yes. In a way, you look back at it and you think, oh wow,
It's
we started this 30, 40 years ago, and everybody builds on what was done before. So,
exactly.
um, uh, but one of the things that we did is we said, okay, we don't get the feedback. We're not getting, so we actually developed a cathode ray tube back then that you could use, a forerunner of what is the pencil, the Apple Pencil,
Yeah.
only it's called a light pen, and we could draw on the screen with a light pen, which was actually a laser pen, um, and but it was very, very clunky. It was very early days. It took a long time to do it. But anyway, it's a forerunner of what we see today
Yeah.
in the digital world. So it was really quite interesting.
How do you find that to see that what you did back then, it's actually working now, and in a
Oh,
fast.
I find it very, very fascinating. It's very confirming, if you will,
Yeah,
that we were heading in the right direction. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. It must be a nice feeling to know that, hey, what we did actually had an impact to the world.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah. So, so anyway, some of the guts inside of your computer um, may have used some of the technology that we were building way, way back then.
It's quite possible, right?
It's quite possible. I don't know for sure, but when you look at, for instance, the Intel processor, there's a lot of stuff way down in the guts of that are very, very, very built on very, very much what we were doing at Bell Labs back then.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And did that had because it's also design, right? So
Yeah.
it has a
Yes.
lot to do with design. Can you say that it also impacted your art now that you're doing now?
Uh, yeah, in a way, art and me, art and me have had this on again, off again relationship for since I was a little kid. I could draw almost anything in class in school when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and the teachers tried to encourage me to go into art at that time, and uh, I wanted to go into being educated and doing art, but my dad said that he wasn't going to have an artist living on in Greenwich Village in New York City. That was his view of an artist, you know.
Okay.
So anyway, he encouraged me to go to college, and that's where I went to computer science, got my degree in computer science. But anyway, getting back to it, right after I graduated, I started working on my art some more, and I've taken several art courses since then. So my art education and my computer science have been a parallel all of my life,
Hmm.
all of
It
my career.
complemented each other.
Excuse me?
They complemented each other.
Yes, they complemented each other all the time. And I kept trying to use one to inspire the other, if you will.
That's the way to see the things. Uh, do you also so for me in the last few months I started learning Python, for example, for
Oh,
programming,
okay.
and I'm actually wanting to do a program, a software for mobile, such as as Photoshop, but only for yeah, in my style, so to say.
Oh,
And it's been quite a ride. I'm still learning,
oh
but
yeah, sure. I've heard of Python and people have talked about it, but I've never gotten into it. So I'm not familiar with it intimately. Just what people have told me about it.
nowadays it's usually used in most of the softwares. For example, I also try to do digital art, but with Blender, so as a 3D model. And Blender uses Python as a coding mechanism, and
Oh, okay.
you can use that to code better, for example, for gameplays and so.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, that would be quite interesting. I have a grandson that's interested in that, and he has been working uh, on that in his spare time, if you will, and during some of his classes. So who knows what it's going to turn into for him. But anyway, he has told me some about it, which makes it quite interesting.
I hope he'll get to it because I believe more programs will use it in the future.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I also want to show, coming back to art now. I
Okay.
also want to show the this one. I find it quite interesting. The details on this one, the red and the burgundy red and the mixture of it, it's beautiful as you did it. Okay, wait a sec. I'm gonna show it right away.
Oh yes, yeah, I had fun with that one.
The colors are wonderful. So I love this red and the burgundy that you used here. They are quite impressive. And
Yeah,
the vase is also, it has somewhat of a anime style, but the colors are incredible.
yes, I tried to be very dramatic with this one. I actually started this piece as part of a contest entry, and I was inspired by actually two different photographs that I saw. One of the vase, and um, the other one of a deep red rose.
Mm.
And I wasn't able to duplicate the colors exactly, uh, but I tried to do the best I could to make it kind of an impressionist style to start with on the rose. And
Mm.
then I said, I'm going to put some more detail in the leaves. Um, and then I got a little bit carried away and got away from impressionist. but but anyway, then I added the vase afterwards, and uh, I really liked the contrasting colors of the vase versus the rose. Um, so anyway, that's where my inspiration came from.
That's I really enjoyed what you painted, and not only these two, but I took a look at your entire page, and it's so there are so many themes that it's really so I don't find the words for it, but one can see that you have a lot of creativity, and I enjoy the artists that are truly immersed into the flow state, so to say,
Yeah,
because
yes. I
it,
get into that mode, and sometimes I'm late into the night
Mhm,
working, and I even forget the time. It just goes away.
that's true. It's so digitally, I don't know how it is for you, but digitally it's a lot faster than, for example, with acrylics or so.
Oh yes, yeah. Yeah, and you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for drying times and things of that sort too.
Yeah,
And although acrylics are pretty fast in drying,
yeah,
and sometimes it dries too fast, and I have to spray water on it and so on. But anyway, um, I do appreciate that very very much. And what I think one of the things, there's two features in digital that I probably appreciate the most over other art. One is the layering,
yeah.
because you can do all kinds of layers, and then if the composition isn't right, you can take one layer and move it around and get the composition the way you want it and so on.
That's true.
The other thing I make judicious use of is the
Yeah,
undo arrow. I am undoing things all the time because, oh, I don't like that, so I'm going to do it differently. So anyway,
you can
that's
retouch every detail, but on acrylics or oil painting or oil crayons, because that's an art too. It's a little bit hard to do, but digitally that works wonderful.
yeah. I find the undo with watercolor is very difficult for me, uh,
Mhm.
because if I try to paint over it, it loses that watercolor effect, if you will.
Yeah, yeah,
And if I try to wet it and pull it off with a brush, I'm still not getting exactly what I want. So, uh, yes, with the others, you can always paint over something, but you might you might lose a little texture or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah,
So anyway, it's fun.
it's a fun process, and it's also therapeutic, I can say.
Oh yes, very much so. I put a lot of energy and what do you want to call it, recovery, if you will, from life's little foibles into my art. So
That's true. That's true. Gary, I thank you for this meeting, and I want to congratulate you once again for being one of the winners from the contest Best Artwork to Talk About on Fine Art America. I hope that you will be part of the next contest that will come up in a few days. The next contest it will be on a digital theme, so I believe you're gonna mix right in with the next
that
contest.
sounds good. I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate the opportunity that you have given me, not only of the contest but also of this interview. It's very encouraging to me.
It's my pleasure, and I really enjoy your artwork. I hope to see more soon, and I hope that we'll stay in touch and talk more.
Will do. Very good. Thanks.
Have a nice day, Gary.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.